Hola, buenos días. Me llamo Beefy de Ska Nation aquí en Australia. Hoy voy a tener un charlo con la banda Voodoo Glow Skulls. ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy bien.
Bien,
How's how,
bien.
how's it going with is it Beefy?
Beefy it is, yes.
How's it going, Beefy?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
no problem at all. Me no habla español. No habla español. So, yeah, that's the end of it.
Oh wow, tú hablas muy bien.
Muy bien, gracias. Okay. So it's been a while since you guys have been down to Australia. I think it was 2013 when you came down with Mad Caddies and a few other bands.
Yeah, on the hits
But
and pits.
yeah, Hits and Pits and Mad Caddies headlined our Ska Nation Festival last year. So it's a bit of a coincidence, or is it by design? We don't really know.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that. We're really excited to come back and do a festival there, just with cool bands that we know. Yeah, I mean, that's great that they've already had them.
Yeah. So they came down last year, played a couple of shows, and we are now very, very pleased. And this is now official because this is why we're talking to Eddie. Voodoo Glow Skulls are coming down to be one of the headliners for Ska Nation in 2024. We've got to thank you for coming on board. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're going to get to see you guys.
Yeah, we're blown away. I mean, especially to be coming with some of the bands that we're going to be there with. It's going to be incredible. I mean, we've been having a string of good luck and great shows, and this tops it up. This is like another big step to. I mean, to us, this is coming back in a big way because this is. I mean, for ska punk and for what we've done, our type of music, that's the kind of. I mean, that's the kind of show you want when you come back to a cool place like that. So, yeah, we're ecstatic to be coming back.
No, exactly right. And I think the timing of me having a chat to you today is absolutely perfect because just last night you're at the Hollywood Bowl with Vampire Weekend and the English Beat.
Oh yeah, I'm recovering, man. It took me a while to get up today and to get ready for these. I have a string of interviews of these. I think I'm doing five of these in like about 2 hours, and I'm so glad they were later in the day. Let's put it that way, because
Yeah,
we
no,
had
fair
a
enough.
we had an epic night. We had one of those nights last night that like rarely happens. I mean, we've never had a night like that, but
Wow.
because I mean, every moment is special, but that one was a crazy one. And that it was like that wasn't even on our bucket list, or not on mine. As a guy who started this band, we never. I thought like maybe for like America, we would maybe get to play like at Red Rocks, like in Colorado, like some like a place where like some of our like contemporary bands that we look up to, like like have played. But I thought maybe we'll get to open up for No Effects or Descendants, some festival there. But and we've done some cool places here, but to get asked to play the Hollywood Bowl and by a band who we never thought would even know who we were,
Yeah.
you know, a successful band like that blew us away when we got the call, and so we're recovering from that,
Yeah, I
which
do
is like
believe it was a personal request from Vampire Weekend as well that you guys opened up.
oh yeah they were doing they wanted to do a ska night at the at the Hollywood Bowl to I guess sort of pay tribute in a way to bands that they grew up with, and but we met the band and they were telling us that they were been into us since they were 12 and 13 years old. It's like, what? Like when the main singer Ezra is telling you that on the stage at the bowl, like 5 p.m., with the sun behind you, it was like this is surreal, man. Like they're making like Paul Simon and like Beatles records. So those guys, they're making like these epic sonic, like landscapes. And but they're inviting like stuff that influenced them, like these, ska and ska punk bands, and to be and to get to meet Dave Wakeling after being like so much in like the two-tone era of ska, and them being around that, and them being such a big, like a huge influence. Was incredible. Just like, is this happening? Like, just sharing up backstages with these guys, and like, having like these new legends, putting you on their huge crazy show, and like being with another legend, like a ska legend, right next to
Yeah.
you doing it. It's like what? Like, what is this? So we had a night like that, and there's like a party with like celebrities, VIP party going on after the show, and like blown away, like the actors of all these crazy shows walking by. Like, what?
Wow.
Like, so we got to just experience a thing that we were just a fly on the wall on this stuff. So it's like, oh, thank you for our little 25-minute set at the Hollywood Bowl. Thank you, But yeah, we're excited, to be in it, man.
Yeah, no, that's it. And the fact that I think am I right in saying that was the first time you've ever played Hollywood Bowl? So that experience for you being just thrown into the stratosphere, just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it was like a Wayne's World. Like, we're not worthy. It was it's just like that. Like when you do new things. I mean, we've gotten to step into like the nice big amphitheaters before with festivals and blah blah blah. But still, when you're like only one of the three bands playing and you're like just more focused on you, it's interesting, man. You walk into these places where you're like, man, these crazy firsts, like it's wild. That's just a wild time.
And it's such a kind of, I'm not going to say a later stage in your career, but to do this 36 years on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is a later stage, and it's cool, to get to do it and to have them recognized too. To have those guys be like super cool to us, and and talk about our music and how it influenced them, and them being on some crazy ride, like selling out the Hollywood Bowl, So just to let those, I mean, for those guys to even think about us and let us in,
No, it's mad. It absolutely is mad. Now, since you've been to Australia 2013, I think it's fair to say there's been a few changes to the band along the way since then.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had like the major changing of the guard in some ways, like much like a lot of our favorite or a few of our favorite bands that had some incidents, and they had to change the lead singer due to either a death or drama or something, None of it was planned on our part. You don't plan for these things, but when you're a band for that long, I guess, and you have three family members doing this the whole time, for about 29 years of it, or whatever it was, 28 years, I'm sorry, you lose track of time because you're still on the ride. And although you have like these dramatic things might go down through your life, we just kind of kept the wheels moving, man. And we've been very fortunate the last 7 to almost 8 years with the core of the current lineup now, at least, the core 4 or 5 people, that you can't complain about that and dwell on stuff that just happens, that just happens to you, we just, I mean, our brother quit the band, like sort of in a bad way when he was having some hard times in his life, and wasn't really being fair to us at the time too. So it was kind of almost impossible to do tours after a while, in a way. There's just dramatic incidents and fist fights. And when you're, as a matter of fact, the last time we came to Australia, I won't say too much, man, but we were trying to be and those were successful tours in a way, but the last time we were there, 2013, we land there, we get taken to a nice hotel. First night, I'm in bed trying to sleep off the jet lag, and I get a phone call. Come down to the room. One dude's trying to beat up another dude that's laying in bed. One guy's drunk, one guy's in bed. So I mean, you have to put that together. We were having incidents, man. So it was time for things to move on in life, and we didn't plan anything ourselves. So we were stuck with like a schedule of some shows going, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna make an announcement and just give up what we've done, which was a thought, and then we got an email from Ephraim, from the singer of Death by Stereo, who in their own right had done well and had been around the block, and had some great records out, more of a hardcore band, and he's a local dude, kind of fit the part. As soon as we were about to make a statement online, I was drafting up a statement to post online saying, well, most of you know what went down if you were looking at the internet, so we didn't know what to do. We weren't trying to post anything negative about our family or anything like that. So we just I was about to make a statement that maybe a week after, 10 days after that was going down, and Ephraim sent me an email. It's just a fair email going, hey man, I heard about what went down. I'm so sorry, but as you know, I'm a kind of a lifelong fan, somewhat, or whatever he said, and it was like, dude, if you want to try somebody out, to save the day. So we thought about it. We sat on it for like a day, and we're like, you know what? People are gonna talk shit anyways.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not. I mean, and I'm not trying. I'm trying not to be a pessimist, but you know, the reality is with social media now, right? So we're like, well, we're pretty good at deflecting that shit. You know, we just do our music and press on. Like, it's not like the guys that were the core songwriters were going, fuck, I'm gonna not do my band anymore. We were trying to just go forward, man, and with a family member that lives 4 hours away in a different state that had distanced themselves, you know, and you know, to be fair, hadn't been the nicest to us in the last few years, you know. So he made moves to quit the band and to leave in a bad way. And is there love for that guy? Of course there is. That's our brother, family. We have tried to reach out. To be fair, to be honest, we've tried to reach out, but it just turns into a really toxic thing. And it's like, man, it was not even about the band. We're happy with the band.
Yeah,
we're happy with our band, man. To be fair, we've had so much love and had such a good time, and stand by our music no matter what. And we'll always stand by the old catalog, and but that's living in the past. If you can't have a functional lineup that doesn't want to kill each other, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, so we've had a great time, and there's no regrets about that, man. We've had a great time and had like more epic moments by pressing forward. We've had that I cannot deny, and why would I? And we had epic moments in the past, but like I said, you know, that's like a trail behind you, man. You know, we're not family. You know, we're still family. You know, just shit happens, man. And we have tried to reach out and try to make things right. And thankfully, we have some of the other band members from our past that are at arm's length that are still somewhat we're friends, and we're still cordial, and we're still cool. You know, but as a band like the Voodoo Glow Skulls, we're just doing it as it comes, and it's always with the core people that started the band. And some people just move on with their lives and can't do it or refuse to do it right, you know, and we can't change that. All we can do is just kind of build a bigger army. You know, right now we're doing that now. You know, we're going full on Brian Setzer Orchestra, Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. You know, we're trying to do a bigger band when we have a bigger show. You know, and then trying to travel with 3 or 4 guys when we go to you know to try to make it a bigger band. You know, make it cooler and make it a cooler experience.
Very good, very good. Now, talking about experience, to the uninitiated, Voodoo Glow Skulls, you're a little bit ska, a little bit punk, a bit hardcore. I've even heard the term metallic ska kicking around. But always a whole load of fury kicked in there, and every show is an experience. How would you, being from on the stage, how would you describe it?
Wow, man, I've always approached it like I'm the dude that like has like his fingers bleeding from holding the pick wrong, or it's slipping out of my hand after a while, and like it's like, to me, it's like it's always been like, oh, we're going into like this is like going to be an intense moment for sure. Like, unless it's when you've been around the block in punk rock, you have your small moments still. We've done little bars and little rinky-dink shows, and when there's been a downswing in our career, so to speak, and everything. So we've done it all. So unless there's like, I mean, even on a bad night, so to speak, or a small crowd or off sound night or something, to me, it's always like, put your head down and go. Like going into battle. Like it might sound cheesy, but it's like, okay, we're going to let out a bunch of energy and expend this thing, and then we're going to get spent after the hour or half hour playing, and then you're going to be exhausted. But once so it's always been like, oh, here we go, charge. You know, that's how it feels to me. It's like, put your head down and go into battle. Like,
have you kind of always been conscious of putting on a really stellar live show? I mean, when you started all those years ago, would you thought, yeah, this needs to be a performance. This people need to go home with lifelong lasting memories?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I approached it that way. We started like as a backyard party, you know, ska punk band, you know, just straight up, you know. So we come from like playing in the back of a dirt field behind a big ranch house in the middle of like Southern California somewhere with 1,000 people, you know, at the same keg, So we've done stuff like that. Like, so we came from that, like, oh, you got to get the party going. You know what I mean? So, and we were influenced by all the styles, from all the styles that get the crowd going, from hip hop to hardcore, and everything else, ska, like you like ska toasting and all that too.
Yeah.
So you add all that, add like a little bit of straight edge hard, like the hardcore thing where the crowd is in your face and knocking mics over, and like we kind of live off of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, to us, that's a good show, So, I mean, we don't want the horns to get busted or anything like that, which has happened, but we like people in our face and it being like a crowd participation thing. And to be fair, I mean, Ephraim is so good at that. Like, that's the hardcore singer you want. Yeah. Like, in my opinion, just the proof is in the last 7-8 years of our band, and I'll stand by it. And we've been lucky enough to have him for this long with all the stuff that he does, and we're just excited to get to go back, man. Life is so short, man, and it's fleeting, and it's too short, man, to not go back. If you have the chance and things are going well with your band, try to go back with when it's right.
Now, I mentioned you're coming to Australia later this year to be one of the headliners for Ska Nation. Now, you are coming with Hey Smith from Japan, who I know you've played with before. These guys are absolutely blowing people's minds right now in Japan. If you've seen any of the footage of their recent concerts, I am so excited. I mean, you guys have played with them before. I mean, what's your impression of those guys?
Oh, I love Hey Smith so much. That exact the way you described it is exactly the way it's going down. We just did. It feels like we just did it, but because we do so much. But I want to say about 6 months ago, we went to Japan with them, and we opened up the first 4 shows of their current Japanese tour. And I mean, talking about a tour, I didn't know you could do that with Japan. Like their tour is like, okay, we have a new record out. This is our whole year or year and a half, and it's all Japan with a little bit of other places sprinkled in, but it's all of Japan. Like every nook and cranny, huge theater, festival, club, everything, like multiple nights here and there. And we were lucky enough to do the first 4 nights of it, and it blew me away, blew our band away.
Yeah.
Like that was like I said, this band consistently this last 7 years has had more epic moments than the original. I mean, there's milestones, don't get me wrong, putting out certain records in the past and doing certain things, of course, but just if you're living your life, man, and you're moving forward with stuff, like the Hey Smith thing was one of the best things we've done. And my 36 years with this band, we did 4 nights of places that were, about 2,000 cap rooms, which is ideal for that type of music, I think. Like, and they're almost like an arena band in Japan. They could do an arena easy. They're big. Easy, they're like a Green Day. They're like Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. They're like a big band, and rightfully so, man. They're good, man. They're one of those bands that we're like, oh, the new generation is going to be all right. And I mean, and they're not even that young. They're like close to 40.
They're older than you think.
Yeah, they're about 40 years old, so they've been around the block. They have some records. They're not a new thing, but to the world, they're becoming a new thing. And we made steps. We made steps to introduce them to Mexico now. Our guy who books us in Mexico, we hooked them up to bring Hey Smith out. So now Hey Smith is going to do some Mexican shows with some of our friends, and that's the way it works, man. And I'm so excited to be a part, just to get to be like, hey, we're these like this OG band that has been around the block and have had our moments, and like I'm not jaded by these moments are epic. We're having the best moments now, but just to get to like see a younger band coming up and like blowing people away and like blowing us away, like those nights were epic, So and we got to be a part of it and play with them. Are you kidding me? It's like life just moves on and you get to do cool things. And as you get old, like become an older person, if you're lucky enough to do what you do still, you get to experience it with these people that are like gonna go on and do epic things, and they're already doing epic things. It's like, thank you for life for letting us be a part of it still.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Does it still blow you away? I know you've been in the game a long time, but does it still blow you away that you can go to places like Japan and Australia and obviously Mexico and the UK, Europe, that people just are there singing along to songs you wrote probably 20 odd years ago, and it's still fresh in their minds, and they're joining in with every word.
Oh yeah, I mean it always. I mean, I don't take it for granted, and like the changes in the band throughout the years, and not just with Frank, like with like our original drummer was a big deal. He's still our best friend. He's still right here. We play like in other bands with him. He's still here. Just because he's not doing it now and moved on with his life in like a professional touring like way or whatnot. So glad to have like Jerry right there.
Yeah.
Still close by. That's the way it should be if you're not going to do it. If you're going to choose not to do it, I'm glad that he's, at least there. We have a few people like that around us, but yeah, man, it's still exciting. To me, it's still a big deal. Like to go any of these places, we'll do we did little 150 person, 200 person bars in Mexicali, Mexicali, to 600 people like in Tijuana, to thousands of people in Japan, to the Hollywood Bowl, 17.5 thousand people sold out, in a prestigious venue that we would normally not get invited to come play on that stage. Like, are you kidding me?
It just proves you guys have actually got a legacy there that you may not think about it, but it's there, and people still remember you from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. It just goes on and on. And I think from your point of view, you don't sit back and relax and it's there, but it is there, and it is a true legacy.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just kind of happens when you just stick around, and you just realize you're doing your thing and you're living your life and you're living your, when you're punk rock and you haven't been a commercial band, like I have a modest little life in a little 50s house in Southern California. I'm happy with my little comfortable life. I record bands and I do Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Yeah.
And one day, like anything else, it'll stop at some point, but it's like, my brother and I, as long as we're the core dudes doing it, we're not going to stop. We just don't want to stop. We want to be like everyone else that gets to do it as long as they have, life. We want to keep it going. And there's new songs always in the works. We're sitting on about 20 to 25 demos right now, and we're just trying to release the right things now because we have a lot to live up to. So we just want to. I think now we're gonna maybe not put any pressure on ourselves and put out like a single or two, and then eventually when we have enough songs, put out like a record, But right now we're sitting on at least a good EP, strong EP's worth of songs, and that's a good sign for a band that has so many quote unquote ska punk, ska core albums. Reinventing yourself. Like good luck with really reinventing yourself. We're just trying to make it new. Okay, here's another new idea. Here you go. We stand by this as the dudes that are doing the band right now, and that's all you can hope for.
Exactly right. Exactly. And like you say, the music business has changed over the years. I mean, from where you guys started in the late 80s to where we are now, it's two ends of a spectrum. It's two different worlds.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the world has changed. It's been turned up on its head with the music business. As a guy who experienced maybe the last hurrah of like being on a label and like having like kind of A&R reps and like advancements to record and tour, like we lived that. And kind of like it's end of the heyday, like the punk rock boom of like Green Day and like the Offspring. We were a benefit of that scene blowing up because we got signed to Epitaph like in 94, 95, and everything happened for us like clockwork, like getting signed to punk rock Motown in 95, 94. We were like, those 6 years, man, 6-7 years made it for us, and like, so just to be able to just, like I said, we're still having like, are you kidding me moments? Like, are you fucking kidding me? We get to do this. Thank God. We love it. We still are writing music to this day and still trying to come up with the next thing that could be the next Voodoo Glow Skull song.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before we wrap up, Eddie, I mean, you are coming to Australia in November. You kind of come with Hey Smith. What can Australian fans of Voodoo Glow Skulls and Hey Smith and Ska Punk and Ska Core, what can they expect from your show later in the year?
Oh man, it's going to be it's going to be full of like mostly classic songs, but then we're gonna get into little bits of when we do the new album, which we fully like. I mean, stand behind. I think that's some of our best working years. You know what I mean? And we love the last album, so we'll be doing about 4 or 5 songs that will be lightly peppered in,
yep,
to about 15 to 20 of the classic songs you'd expect to hear. You know what I mean? Done right, in my opinion, with I don't know, there's still like a lot of energy there, you know.
Very quickly, what is the difference between a llama and an alpaca?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot, bro. I think Michael Jackson had some on his ranch. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. All right, Eddie, I got to thank you for your time. Ska Nation tickets go on sale on the 17th of June. You guys are coming with Hey Smith. Please, Eddie, send a message to your Australian fans, and we look forward to having you here later on this year on these shores.
Oh man, we're so excited to be coming back down under. We can't wait. Voodoo, voodoo, we do. Fuck you.